The hidden truth about James Garner was finally revealed in a vulnerable letter he penned to his dear friend Doris Day. Born as James Scott Bumgarner on April 7, 1928, in Norman, Oklahoma, his upbringing was defined by struggle and a gritty necessity for self-reliance. Losing his mother at the tender age of 5 and enduring a painful relationship with a stepmother forced him to mature overnight. This early emotional turmoil became the wellspring of empathy that fueled his most authentic performances later in life. Long before the bright lights of Hollywood, Garner was a man of the world. He toiled in manual labor, played high school football, and fought in the Korean War, where he earned 2 Purple Hearts for his bravery and injuries. These raw life experiences gave him a permanent allergy to phoniness and a profound connection to the common man, traits that viewers could sense the moment he stepped in front of a lens. His path to fame wasn't a calculated climb. He fell into acting by chance in the early 50s, briefly honing his craft at the legendary actor's studio in New York. While others chased the glitz of superstardom, Garner remained grounded, pioneering an understated conversational style that felt incredibly real and ahead of its time. This naturalistic charm hit its stride in 1957 when he landed the title role in the Western series Maverick. Playing the sharp-witted and occasionally cautious gambler Brett Maverick, Garner flipped the script on the typical cowboy hero, replacing stoicism with irony and intellect. Maverick wasn't just a hit, it was the foundation of his entire career. He became the go-to actor for characters who were clever rather than aggressive, moral without being preachy, and inherently strong without having to shout about it. His move to the silver screen was effortless, starring in classics like The Great Escape and The Americanization of Emily, where he balanced comedy and drama with a rare, fluid grace. Beyond the roles he played, Garner was a rebel within the industry. He famously refused to be pushed around by the major studios, launching legal battles against giants like Warner Brothers and Universal to secure fair treatment for actors. Though he never claimed the title of activist, his fight for justice reflected the same backbone that guided his personal life. In 1974, he struck gold again on television with the Rockford Files. As Jim Rockford, he gave us a detective who was often broke, frequently bruised, and deeply human. This role earned him an Emmy and ensured his place as a permanent fixture in television history. Even as the years passed, his talent never flickered, moving audiences in his later years with films like Murphy's Romance and his heartbreakingly beautiful performance in The Notebook, which won over a whole new generation of admirers. Garner's personal life was just as steady and sincere as his career, a rare Hollywood success story that stood firm for nearly 60 years. He married Lois Josephine Fleshman Clark just 16 days after meeting her at a party in 1956. While the world might have seen it as a reckless impulse, Garner just knew he had found his match. Their honeymoon was famously frugal. He joked it only cost him $77, but that simplicity set the tone for a marriage built on genuine respect rather than celebrity excess. He often compared marriage to the military with a dry wit, noting that despite the complaints, people kept signing back up for duty. He understood that a lasting bond wasn't about a lack of problems, but the grit to work through them. When they wed, Lois had a daughter from a previous marriage who was battling polio, and Garner stepped in as a devoted father without a second thought. They later had a daughter of their own, Jiggy, who became the heart of their world. Despite the pressures of fame, Garner prioritized his family, even during 2 brief periods of separation in the 70s. Rather than giving up, they chose to reconcile in 1981, proving that their connection was deeper than any temporary rift. They stayed side by side until his final breath in 2014, navigating their different backgrounds with a quiet, mutual admiration that is almost unheard of in show business. In the final chapter of his life, Garner found himself reflecting on the man behind the mask. In a deeply personal note to Doris Day, his longtime co-star and confidant, he dropped the easygoing facade. He confessed that he often felt the heavy burden of his public image, admitting he never felt he said enough when it truly counted. He told Doris that while the world saw a relaxed, confident man, he was often plagued by worries about his work and whether he truly deserved his success. He recognized that Day, too, had hidden her own sorrows behind a bright smile, and he thanked her for being one of the few people who allowed him to just be Jim. No scripts, no charm, no performance. He spoke of the physical toll his career had taken, mentioning the days he smiled through agonizing pain just to avoid letting down his fans or producers. He admitted he wished he had been kinder to himself instead of confusing constant endurance with true strength. His message wasn't one of regret, but of liberation. He told Doris that being decent was the ultimate act of defiance in a ruthless industry. As he closed the letter, he noted that kindness is the only thing that outlasts fame, a sentiment that perfectly encapsulated the way he lived his life. The bond between Garner and Day was special, rooted in their shared Midwestern values and the chemistry they displayed in 1960s romantic comedies like The Thrill of It All. But while he remained a beloved figure, his final years were a grueling battle against his own body. The physical demands of playing Jim Rockford had destroyed his knees, leading to countless surgeries and eventually total replacements. His health struggles didn't stop there. He survived a quintuple bypass in 1988 and later overcame a lifelong smoking habit that had started when he was only 12 years old. In 2008, a major stroke further taxed his system, and while he fought back with his usual determination, his health continued to fade. On July 19, 2014, James Garner passed away at home in Los Angeles at the age of 86 due to a heart attack. He faced the end with the same quiet dignity and resilience that he brought to every role he ever played. He left behind a massive legacy of film and television, but more importantly, he left the example of a man who remained authentic, humble, and brave until the very end. Thanks for joining us for this look back at the incredible life of James Garner. He truly was one of a kind, wasn't he? If you enjoyed this story, go ahead and hit that like button and let us know your favorite James Garner movie or memory in the comments. We'd love to chat with you. And if you want to see more deep dives into the lives of Hollywood's greatest legends, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.